All right, we're broadcasting. And soon we shall be live. We are live now, so now's when I say, hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Fuse. No, D.
One of those. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I'm the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jenny Meltzer as Zaylene.
And it's a little hot here, you guys.
Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn.
Good evening.
Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift.
It's really weird being down in this corner now. Hello, friends.
Yes, everyone's moved around a little bit. And Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock.
I have so many burning questions.
Get out.
Go home.
It just occurred to me that in my new little setup, I didn't put everybody's token on. So perhaps give me just a moment and I'll get those there. So we have, so how about this? I would request as we prepare to rejoin our heroes already in progress in the fire plane. It's really hot outside. You don't like it. But I want to imagine that we have flashed forward a little bit, like maybe an hour, as you've started to adjust to this place. And I want you to just take turns giving me a brief physical description of your character in general and what they have done, like how they are reacting to the heat so far. Which, I should mention, real hot.
How hot is real hot?
Very.
Like, are we talking like Arizona in the middle of August hot? Or are we talking like your shoes might melt hot?
We're talking 120 in the shade currently.
Melted mailboxes, hot.
Yeah, worse than
Mhm.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona in the middle of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. Lynn has definitely borrowed one of Zaylene's hats. It's not helping.
I'm wearing two hats now. Sunglasses, and you can see under my sunglasses my black eyeliners running down my face, blending in with my ribbon shadows.
Zinhorn has put away the winter clothes and pulled out summer clothes from his pack and is trying to make a makeshift hat.
On that note, you're going to find, Zinhorn, that your heavy armor is going to... Oops, I already had Zinhorn. Your heavy armor is going to give you disadvantage on your rolls to resist the heat unless you remove it.
I guess for now I will remove my armor.
All right. Let's see if I...
I think Lynn is probably experimenting with various forms to see which will keep her coolest. It's like I think there's been some feathers going on and maybe like shrinking to see if that helped. Nothing seems to help. It's still hot.
The cloak of billowing is going constantly, and I imagine like everybody taking turns walking behind me for a little while, trying to get some air off of it.
Are we there yet?
You guys want to set the tower up and get out of this heat for a little while?
That is a fantastic idea.
So before we do that, let me just briefly recap. You know, we did some initial scene setting while I was adding tokens, but last time we when we left our heroes, the Pocket Protectors, they were deep within the underground levels beneath a strange mountaintop observatory with an arcane telescope slash super weapon, and you were forced to flee from the Emperor's men into the elemental plane of fire, and in doing so, your ally Sequential decided to stay behind in order to deactivate the portal and all of the equipment behind you so that it could not fall into the Emperor's hands. And although your characters don't know this yet, we saw on screen that Sequential has been rescued by your patron Yobert Relenth and his flying castle. But in the meantime, all of you found yourself. You had bribed your way through a portal by making an offering to a very powerful Ifrit, whom you immediately betrayed by having his portal shut down when you got through. So you fought him for a little while, and then he left, cursing you all to choke on the smoke of the fire plane. And you quickly discovered that the initial area that you came out of the portal in was actually the nice part. Because just like on the other side of the portal, the energy from the fire plane had made that region very hot. The area on the immediate other side was relatively cooler. And so as soon as you kind of moved away from that location, you discovered it's extremely hot here. It would appear that literally the rock beneath you is not merely rock in the way you would understand it, but somehow it is solid flame. You have quickly discovered as you make your way out of kind of a cavern that there is kind of a golden colored sky with a russet sun currently overhead that as you spent a little bit of time watched getting brighter and brighter. You actually spotted here and there what looked like a couple of birds flying overhead, but as one came a little bit close, you realized that the bird itself seems to be some kind of a fire elemental. You feel, those of you who sweat, which probably is everyone but Zinhorn, or I don't know, what do you think, Zinhorn? How do Dragonborn regulate their temperature? Do they sweat? Do they pant? Are they cold-blooded? What do you think?
Not cold-blooded. I think they must pant.
Yeah. So in any case, though, you are just finding it, yes, it's a thoroughly unpleasant place to be. And in fact, you start having to watch your step because here and there, the ground crumbles away to the equivalent of hot coals immediately beneath, unless you make sure to step on steady ground. And I think as you come to sort of a ridge and crest it to look beyond, you see that you're in kind of a foothills type of region with off to one side, you can see this mountain range curving along, and then in the distance past some more of these hills you see what looks like an endless smoky desert. And at about this point, when you were just talking about maybe getting the tower up, you receive another sending, Carolina, from Yobert saying something that is not okay. My note got updated. So what you hear is, Carolina, we had to leave Pashan to avoid arrest, but we are here with Sequential and safe-ish. We can't stay long. Do you need help?
Well, everything is on fire, but I think it's supposed to be sort of, we're okay, I guess, for now. How many words that was.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, I assume he would know where we had gone because he's talked to Sequential, so.
Right.
Yeah. So we're all alive so far.
Yeah. So the message probably cut off at some point in the middle of that. It's very hot. It's hard to kill.
Is there
I lost count. I don't know.
is there like Is it just vast open space, or are there like rocks, like
So
outcroppings and
there are
shadowy places?
there are definitely, like I said, you're in kind of a foothills sort of area, but there are definitely big rocks and outcropping, and there's not really a lot of what you would call flora, like plant life. You do here and there see areas where actual flames are dancing around or erupting from a crevice or that sort of thing, but there are certainly places that are in the shade of this enormous sun overhead. And as I mentioned, as you're watching it, it would seem, well, let's see. You can, anyone who likes to can make an arcana check related to the sun there.
The sun.
The sun.
Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr.
16.
Golden Sun.
16. I think after watching it for a little bit, Zaleen, what you realize is the sun has not changed position, it has gotten brighter, and you suspect that it may be that that's the equivalent of day and night here, is just a gradual brightening or and then dimming of the sun that is otherwise always up. Currently on its way to getting brighter.
This was a really good idea, I'd just like to say.
It seemed like the necessary thing to do at the time. Galicia.
And Nidri's experimenting, is standing on one foot, and he traces an icicle in the midair and casts Ray of Frost at his other sandal
Okay.
to try to cool it off.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of like psh and steam as the moisture on it, like the cold is meeting the hot coals. And in fact, I think that although it feels better for a moment, it's the rapid temperature change causes the ground where you're stepping to fracture a little bit, and so you find yourself having to step a little bit more quickly to avoid it crumbling beneath you.
Well, on the bright side, you guys might be interested to know that Sequential is safe with Lord Yobert, and they had to leave Pashan. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but
Well, there was something about them being possibly arrested, so kind of makes sense. When you said
Right.
he left Sean, though,
But
I did
you
see-
said Sequential is with them. How did they get with them?
because
that's
the
the
castle
question.
was there. We didn't see it.
Yeah, you didn't
No.
see that.
That's
part.
right. Yeah.
I don't know. Just said that Sequential was with them. They had to leave Bashan and wanting to know if we were okay. I was like, well, it's relative, but everything's on fire. But
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad they're all safe, at least for the moment.
Do you think that the castle, do you think that she finally found her strength to
well,
fly
I hope
again?
so. But we're living in weird times, so who even knows?
I mean, it is supposed to fly, so
Yeah, she
Mm.
said that she wasn't quite ready. Maybe she's ready now.
Well, and Yobert also said it would take a large crew to, get her going again. I don't know. I didn't ask. I mean, I could, but I'm trying to minimize communication because you never know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start looking for sort of like an outcropping with some shade to set up the tower.
Okay. Yeah, I think it doesn't take too long to find a spot where it's level enough that you can there's room to put up the tower.
Okay. And then I will lay it down and make it big again.
Okay. So as you pull the tiny toy dollhouse sized tower out of your bag, you give it the magical command to enlarge to a full sized tower, whereupon you can all enter and slip into the little pocket dimension that the tower provides, finding that it is immediately more comfortable inside.
It's like air conditioning in
Mhm.
here.
I'm
Oh,
just
boy.
laying on the stone floor, just laying there.
Even a puddle,
Hot.
sweat.
I need
Zinhorn curls up on some rocks up against the wall of the castle and is panting.
Oh, so,
What? Some research if we're going to survive here.
well, we know where we're going, right? We're
He,
going
he
to,
he started to point us in a general direction, but then he kind of got interrupted. Did he get
Hmm.
out anything before yeah, no, I didn't think
Not
so.
really.
I don't know if it would be helpful to get some height and see if we can spot anything.
Nedry can fly.
Well,
I can make more than one
looking
person.
at the dude with wings over here.
True. I don't know how they work. I mean, they seem sporadic sometimes.
Mm.
I'm getting better.
I know you are. That's what I just meant. Like I thought you used them already, and I wasn't sure if you could do that more than one time in a day. I wasn't sure.
I mean, I'm not fast, but my flight doesn't expire like his spell does.
So you can go high. Like you could fly up over the castle and maybe take a look over the tower here.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just gonna say, stand at the base of the tower and try and yell up at me if something is flying toward me. Since there seem to be other flying things around here, like fire elementals. I would hate to get caught unawares.
How far away?
I feel
does-
like Zinhorn would see him first.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to be looking for that city that we want to go to.
Looking up at the sun is kind of hard though. I mean, I can't do it. This is already really difficult for me. I can't.
Oh, good point.
I can't deal
Is
with
the
it
sun directly overhead?
all the time.
Yeah, it's not quite straight up like noon. There is a little bit of an angle to it, but it doesn't seem to change from that angle.
Okay, but it's been getting brighter
Yeah.
the last hour, so we should expect it will actually maybe get dimmer in a few hours.
Yeah, and by dimmer, maybe just more like daylight where we come from.
Yeah,
Like I get the impression that this is it. Like there is no darkness here. So
There's not a lot of dim fire, and if this is the plane of fire, then it makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah, that sounds reasonable. I think
Nedry, I was just going to ask Nedry, how far does your telepathy, like how far can you do that if Zinhorn goes up and you?
I can send a message.
Okay,
Yeah, so can I.
how
It's a
far
little-
does it go though? That's what I want to know.
More than 100 feet.
Okay, good.
Okay. I guess I'll go up to like 500 or 1,000 feet and just kind of spiral upward
Mhm.
so that I can stay pretty much above the tower, but also as I'm spiraling upward, look around
Mhm.
for the city that the
Sure. So
the Jin
yeah.
was talking about.
yeah. So first, make an athletics check for me.
Okay. That would be a 16.
Okay. Yeah. So you find that your ability to fly does not seem impeded in any way by your change in location. Gravity and air resistance and all of that feel approximately the same. It's certainly moving your wings and your body through the air quickly certainly feels kind of extra hot. Not to mention the exertion, but you're certainly able to get up there. So please go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Mm, 24.
Wow, that's pretty good. First, you notice a couple of things in your immediate vicinity. And one is that there are drifting clouds, most of which look very sort of ashy and smoky. But you see a couple here and there that are sort of white and puffy and almost look like you would expect clouds back home to look, except that you sort of get a little closer to one and belatedly realize, oh, it's steam. And
Ooh.
you would definitely not want to fly through that. It would burn you even beyond the
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 convection
air that's.
oven that I'm in.
Yes, exactly. And so, but as you start, making sure that there's nothing, on a direct intercept course with you, you start looking around to see what else you can see. And as previously mentioned, you have this big sort of curving arc of a mountain range that curves off into the distance, takes up one whole sort of half of your 360-degree view. You are currently in some foothills at the base of those mountains. But then on the other side, like going away from the mountains, it leads to this huge flat expanse that looks just like it consists of nothing but ash and volcanic glass that just extends a tremendous distance, hundreds of miles. But you see on the far side of it a bright glinting shape just above the horizon on the far side of that endless expanse. That is, you obviously can't see more than this glinting light, but it is obviously something notable there. And otherwise, you see a lot of strange flames, and some of which seem very alive. You see down into kind of a valley. You see what looks almost like a herd of wild horses, except that they all have flaming manes. And then you see off perhaps a mile or two down another valley, you see what looks like a small caravan of some kind. There's like carts. And there are some figures around them that you would have to get closer to see more clearly, but they're definitely lit up in some way.
Okay. I make sure that I have a ground reference for what direction we want to go
Mm-hmm.
for whatever that glint of light is. Hopefully that's the city, and also for the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come back down.
Okay. As you kind of come back down, please make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. That would be a 6.
You take one level of exhaustion from having to try to exert yourself in the extreme heat.
Okay.
What's the scoop?
I need to get inside and get some water.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw on the other side of the mountain range, there's a big plain of ash and rock, and at the end of that was like a glint of light, like maybe there's a big city over there. But much closer, there's a caravan and carts over in that direction. How far away was it, Christiana?
Like maybe a mile or two.
Like a mile or two in that direction.
What direction were they going?
Vaguely towards that bright light, but obviously the light, was hundreds of miles across a vast expanse of volcanic glass. So they're heading approximately in that direction.
But away from us.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're not headed. They're not headed towards you, if that's the question.
And I saw some things that look like fire horses.
Wow.
Sounds painful.
You can imagine might be a fire version here. A fire waterfall would be kind of weird, but I'm sure it's here.
Lava.
Firefall.
A lava fall.
Yeah. Fire butterflies, butterfires.
Fireflies.
I think what seems most obvious is try to catch up with the caravan. see if they're going that way? Because I mean, if it's a caravan, if they're traders, they know the safe route to go there, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do we want to do at this city? I'm all for
Well-
exploring.
Well, we
So,
mean, we need
a lot
to
of
find
things
a way to
falling
get home.
So here is something that I have a vague recollection of from the stories of the heroes of legend. There were places that would be connected through different I don't know, sometimes they could be through temples or like people
Like
have different
teleportation
ways.
circles.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. So there's a chance since the city of Brass is, like maybe the only city here. I mean, odds are if we're gonna find one, it's gonna be there.
Hmm.
And from just the Church of Rusham has grown so much. We might find a temple there. Maybe I don't know if they do. Thinhorn, do you know if they have reached this particular plane of existence? Do you know?
You can make a religion check for me if you like.
Oh, that never goes well. 7. I thought I rolled a 1 for a minute there.
Well, so is 7 the final result?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so you're not sure. What you do know is that because of the Heroes of Legend and their message that went out to everyone across all of the planes, there are a lot of other planes that do have temples to Rushama, even though Rushama had traditionally only been on the material plane. However, you don't know for sure if there was any outpost in the fire plane or not.
I don't know.
Well, if there is one, that's probably where it would be. Would be my guess.
Maybe there's a temple to the Mistress of the Dark here. That would be cool.
Although there's not likely to be a lot of dark here.
But
Yeah, I
that would
was
that would
thinking
be
that
why
too.
it would be perfect to have a temple to the Mistress of the Dark, because people here would crave darkness so that they wouldn't be so hot.
Yeah, I think the people here are kind of used to it, but it is a good.
I don't know
Traveling.
about them, but I kind of long for death about now. It is so hot.
Do you really want to
Be
go home?
careful what you wish for. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, we just came here to get away from the situation. I
Because
mean,
I might have a way tomorrow.
really?
It's not really all that guaranteed, nor is it really meant to be done that way, but I might be able to do it.
What
Well,
is
Most,
I mean, in the meantime, we're here. We could see if that caravan can maybe take us. At the very least, there would be people there of some kind that might be able to give us some more information on just the area in general.
Well, how is everybody doing? Because I mean, we did just have a fight, and I mean, are we counting this as a short rest?
If you like. I mean, you're relatively comfortable there inside your tower, so.
Yeah.
And then I briefly have to move everyone around because that's what happens when people turn their cameras on, which is okay.
I need to.
Oh, did I turn my camera off?
You did, but that's okay.
I
I'm
need
sorry.
to heal.
My eyeglasses just broke.
Oh no.
So, like, in order for me to see you, I have to be back here.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to hurt like hell.
Well, we don't want that.
So we're doing a short rest,
Oh,
and oh man, I need to do a long rest. I don't have any hit dice. I have like 3 left because I forgot.
Oh, you and Nedry went and fought too.
Nedry
didn't
and
you?
I, yeah. Yeah, we had a big fight with the adversary there before we fought the fire elemental guy.
I've only got a
Well-
little bit of magic left for today.
There is
Yeah.
also the option of I would take turns traveling, like we did before when we were going into the mountains.
Well, we'd have to do it at least 2 by 2 because I don't think it would be a good idea to have just one person by themselves out there. We don't know anything about this place.
Well, I can make a couple of people fly for a little while.
How long is a little while?
How long?
10 minutes.
How far could we get in 10 minutes?
Well,
Probably.
I mean, it's
Is it like basic 30 feet?
no, it's double that, but for 10 minutes. Now, what it does allow you to do, obviously, is avoid environmental hazards, so long as you can avoid the steam clouds.
We could also get closer to the caravan more quickly because we'd be moving like double our
Absolutely,
speed.
that's true.
Yeah. Did I get an idea of how fast the caravan was moving?
It didn't seem super fast, but you obviously you didn't get that close or watch them for too very long.
Okay.
We don't even know if they're friendly though. I mean, they could be slavers or
That's
Well,
true.
I mean, can everything really be terrible? Like, there's got to be some stuff
Yes.
that's not terrible, right? There has to be. We've just seen so much terrible lately.
I mean,
I
once you
know.
know the fact that everything's on fire, I'm sure there's a lot of things which are very appealing.
yeah, I'm sure this place has its good points too. I just think it would be wise to be careful. I mean, I don't know anything about the people who live in the plane of fire.
I don't either, but I'm sure there's got to be someone here that could be friendly. Maybe.
There's only one way to find out, really.
Yeah.
Well, two ways, but I don't think I can find a library anytime soon.
Well, I
You do have
suggest that
books you
Nedry.
took from the planar library.
The tower too. We have the tower books too that were just not magical. So maybe there's something in the books in here that are about the.
Some of them I definitely wouldn't mind looking through more.
Well, Zaline is not good in like the bright light, and Zinhorn is looking kind of rough after his little flight there. So if we have to go by twos, I think I should be one of them, and probably Nedry.
Well, we are the only other two, so
We'll
Yeah.
get to that, but
worked it out.
like
but
I know you would want to stay and read your books, but just physically speaking, I think we're probably the best equipped for this right now.
I
I can
mean,
look through the books and see what I can find too. And then that way, when you do take a break, maybe you'll have a jump start on some of the things you're looking for. Just tell me what you want me to look for.
everything related to the fire plane would be a good place to start. Portals, vortexes, and places of power, possibly. I'm not sure if there's any books on Rashama here. This library probably predates Rashama, at least in the modern era. Rashama's been around for a long time, of course, but actually, might be his.
So one thing I'll note, just related to the books that were here in the tower, is that all of the ones that were on the bottom shelf are ruined because
Right.
Buster has chewed them into little tiny bits.
Yeah.
And I'll also add, even though you guys as players didn't ask, I think at least Zinhorn would thought to check. Buster seems like he's a little depressed. He's just kind of laying in one spot right now. He's not having a good time.
It's hot. Buster.
Well, I mean, it's not hot
He's
inside the tower.
lonely and bored.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
guys are
He's
leaving
bored.
him alone for long
He's
periods
like,
of time.
Yes.
maybe you should explain to him about how dangerous it's been and that you just didn't want him to get hurt. And he seems to understand you.
I can try and have that talk with him. But I get the feeling I really need to take him out more. I don't know what he's gonna do outside here, but
Well, I mean, he's small in here, so you can take him somewhere like another room and let him run around and he'll get exercise because he's so much smaller.
yeah.
Make sure that nothing destroyable is on those levels. I don't think any of the
Yeah.
books at the level were all that important, but I didn't get a chance to read them all.
No. But I can actually move the books a little higher too, so that way he can't get to them.
Well, and if you go through the door again, you'll be even smaller, and it'll be even more room for you to run.
Yeah.
That's an
Like you guys
interesting
could
thought.
go through. You guys could go through the door, and I could carry you somewhere where you can run around like you're going for miles.
Yeah, I want to try that. I want to try making him and me, another level smaller, and then uh Saline can bring us somewhere, and the two of us will I have one level of
Uh,
exhaustion, but it's
Mhm.
cooler in here, so
I'm just gonna say this. I don't think you should make Buster any smaller because if you do, he's gonna get lost in the carpet again, like that girl did.
no, I'm gonna get smaller with him. So he and I will maintain relative size. Or
Right.
actually,
So leave him
no,
at the size he's at. That's what I
leave him
mean.
at the
Don't
size
take
he's
him
at,
through.
and I'll go
Yeah.
down. Yeah, I like that idea
Yeah.
better. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's already small right
He's
now.
not that small.
Like,
Well, no, he's like
what we had
hamster
said, yeah,
size.
was we had kind of said guinea pig sized, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but so basically, he is currently the size where if you shrunk down one level, you would be about 6 inches tall, and so he is about equivalently sized for that. Um, and then by contrast, he if you were to get any smaller than that, you would be another 12 scale smaller, so like half an inch tall. Which is
Well,
probably
You just have to be
overkill
able to.
for the goal here. I mean,
Yeah.
these rooms are big enough that, you can run around a fair amount at the 6 inch scale.
So yeah,
So
I'll drop down to be his level and spend some time with him.
Okay. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
Okay. One sec. I'm trying to avoid
You can
a
make it
headache
at
by not
advantage
looking at
since you
things.
you can make it at advantage because you shrunk down to his size where you seem normal to him again. 11.
Okay,
I think
11.
yeah, I think it takes him a little while it takes you a little while to kind of get through him just acting sleepy. Like, but sleepy in a way where he's just sort of lethargic. Um, but I think eventually you kind of get there, and he seems happy to be just doing things with you. What do you do? What level do you go to, and then what kind of stuff are you doing with him?
Good. Saline, where do you drop us?
I'm gonna take you guys to the kitchen area where there was the divider, so
Mhm.
that way you have you can run around on the table or you can do the floor. Just let me know where you want me to put you guys.
Yeah, put us on the floor,
Okay.
and we'll run around. I'll try playing tag with him.
Mhm.
I've got pretty good claws. His are way better, but we'll climb the table.
Mhm.
We'll make a game out of seeing who can get to the top of the table.
Yeah. I think you find that, like, although you never at any point sense any malice or even really anger, he's not used to this kind of play, and he's pretty rough.
Okay.
He is liable to tackle you to the ground fairly roughly on a regular basis.
I am okay with that
All right.
after I put my armor on. And I am going to focus on teaching him the word gentle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can go ahead and make another animal handling check for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's another 10. So
Yeah.
I think it's like he seems like he's paying attention to you, but he's not grasping the concept.
Okay.
So he's not ignoring you. He's just not sure you're not getting through.
Well, the whole point is for him to hear the word repeated,
Mhm.
and even if he's not associating it with anything, understand that it's a special word,
Yeah.
and we'll work on the association later.
Gentle is a very alien concept to gray renders. It is not usually what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
But so in any case, while that's happening, what is it? So I assume everyone took the short rest. Is that the case, or are you doing this during everyone else's short rest, Zinhorn?
Um, I'm
Also-
doing this during their short rest.
It just occurred to me that your animal handling checks should have been with disadvantage because of your exhaustion, but don't worry about re-rolling anything right now. Just remember it for
Okay.
until you get your long rest to reset that.
Okay.
But I think, let's see, who would it be? I think it is actually you, Zinhorn, that at some point in the next like little bit, I'm sorry, did you answer the question? Are you doing this like during everybody else's short rest, or did you take a full
Yes,
short rest first?
I'm
Okay.
doing it during their short rest.
Okay,
I want
yeah.
to save up for a long rest.
Sure. So, in any case, during this time, you actually receive a message in your head, ascending, of a voice going, saying, "Pocket protectors, I am Nelson Devereaux, friend of the Emperor. I ask you to declare your allegiance. Turn yourselves in. Be heroes instead of traitors."
Okay, so I can respond to this.
Correct.
Um, um, well, it's nice to put a name with a face. And we will consider your offer. I'm not so sure at the moment you've given us any reason to trust you.
I'm not sure you get quite all of that out, but I think the tone is comes through.
Okay. And then I will relay to Zaleen, who's hopefully still nearby, what just happened.
I put a megaphone up to my ear so I can hear you because you're tiny. You have a little tiny voice. Like, what?
sending from the friend of the Emperor.
Oh,
What's his name?
what
Nelson.
did
Was
they
it
want?
Nelson Devereaux?
Devereaux.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty hoity-toity
So-
to me.
He said to turn ourselves in. Did you laugh at him?
I told him he had given us no reason to trust him and we would consider his offer, but it was nice to put a name with a face.
I sit there like this for a second. I considered it. No. Are you guys going to be okay up here? Because I'm going to go start looking for books for Ned.
Wait a sec. He
What?
said he did a sending to me. That means he knows what I look like. Right?
I think so. No. Well, I think you do. Well, I think you do have to know what a person that you send a message to, like to do sending. I think you do have to know what they look like.
I believe the wording of the spell is something to the effect of a person familiar to you.
Yeah.
So how would he have gotten familiar with me?
Well, I mean, they have seen us. They did have us captive. I'm sure they, put wanted posters of us up everywhere.
Hmm.
They've only been following you and spying on you since you left Bashan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I
yes,
wonder
if that
that
means
is
he
a
knows-
reasonable thing to realize from getting this sending. That
Yeah.
probably they could have at any point, and this is the first time they've attempted to make contact.
I bet
Okay.
you that's because they have no idea where we went.
Yeah. It costs them nothing to hold out an olive branch.
Right.
The one
Well-
bit of context that I will offer to certain, I think those of you who lived in Pashan for some period of time would have this understanding that, like, I'm not telling you that your emotional your reaction to this is wrong by any means, but only just to say that from the perspective of the culture of the Tashmian Empire, the simple fact that he is friend of the emperor, you know, like someone who ostensibly is speaking for the government, that is supposed to be the reason you trust them. And if you don't, that means you're not a friend of the emperor. So what I guess
don't
I'm
even
just
know the
saying is that
emperor.
I think you would understand that the type of offer he's made, neutral is not an option. He is asking you to declare whether you are a friend or an enemy of the empire.
Oh, well, I didn't understand that when it was asked of me.
Hmm.
Huh. Well,
It
you
was
know,
kicked.
we did start a movement
Mhm.
called Down with the Empire.
Yeah.
So
Well, the other piece I would just say is that like it's a little bit like that's the context that you would understand the question he asked, or at least the demand that he made. But it's also a little bit like someone in a black suit with an earpiece and sunglasses comes up and asks you to declare whether your allegiance is to the United States or to its enemies. You know what I mean? It's like, okay,
yeah.
you say that you're someone important, but how do I know, right? Like, but that said, if he's legit, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
Well.
like the FBI showing up at your office and saying, all right, we want you to come with us, and you deciding whether you're going to or not. And if you
Yeah,
say
you kind
no,
of don't have a
then
choice.
that makes, you know, that changes the course of your life.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, next time the friends of the emperor reach out, maybe just don't answer.
yeah, if that's something that I would have known, can we retcon my
Yeah.
answer? To
Yeah,
just
so
be,
that's
I
kind
will
of why
not
I said
answer?
it is that you would just choose to not send any answer at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's as neutral as I can be.
Mm-hmm.
Is to not reply
Sure.
because
My question,
I mean, right now we couldn't turn ourselves in if we wanted to
Right.
unless they had some way of getting here. And at the moment,
which I'm sure they do,
we don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
right?
No, and
My only question, I have a
They try to
question about
throw us
that
in jail
though.
for nothing.
mhm.
I have a question. After sending, how long do you have before the opportunity to reply expires?
I don't think there's a strict
Like if,
mechanical rule for it, but it's kind of understood that if it's more or less real time, right? Like, so
so,
if you take a long time and don't say anything, like the window will close.
right. So if Zinhorn like turned to me and was like, hey, wait a minute, I just got a message from the Friends of the Emperor, they would get that as the message.
I think you can
Like they
choose
would
to
hear
not
that.
send. Well, there's not a specific rule. But what I'll say is, it does not automatically send the next thing you say. But if
Okay.
you do anything else other than reply to it, it will essentially close as a no reply. Right?
Alright.
So you
Yeah,
have to
so
be
then-
like prepared to say reply to it right when you get it, or else it kind of closes the window. And it's not like a specific countdown timer so much as an intention. Like there's a magic potential on you when you receive it that you can choose to either respond to or let pass.
Now,
Right.
would he know positively that I received the message?
Yes.
So basically, I'm going to leave him on read and ghost him.
Yeah.
All right.
And so let me be clear, as your friendly and benevolent dungeon master, that it is entirely reasonable for you to not trust this guy. But I just wanted it to be the context of, I wanted it to, you to all understand that this is essentially the equivalent of someone purporting to be a highly placed government official telling you to either turn yourselves in or be considered a traitor. And that doesn't
Right.
mean you should trust him, but you should know what it means to say no.
Okay, so we are going to be considered traitors from now on.
Well, no, I mean, we didn't say anything.
Yeah, but he knows I got the message.
I mean, maybe he thinks you're just talking to your friends about it
Mhm.
to decide how we want to answer. Maybe he'll message you again later.
They don't seem to be, you know,
Maybe
generous
they'll
sort. They
message.
seem to be the lock them up and throw away the key because they might know something sort, which is exactly
Yeah.
what they did. They tried to
Right.
throw us in jail and throw away the key just because we
Yeah.
might know something.
Right. But what I'm saying is they might still try to reach out again because, you know, you can't speak for everyone. So who knows?
That's true.
We'll just have to let Nedry and Carolina know.
Yeah. I agree. We definitely need to let them know.
So, all right. I'm going downstairs. I will check up on you in a little while and see if you guys need anything.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So, Carolina and Nedry, were you doing anything kind of during this period?
Probably discussing how we're going to travel. We going to fly first or are we going on foot? You think we can
Well-
catch him in 10 minutes?
We might not be able to catch them in 10 minutes, but I might be able to extend the time a little bit. Not entirely certain if this would work, but actually, no, I'm out of lower magics, so I'd have to be upcasting. It'll have to work for another day. But if we do have more than 2 people, I do have a way to bring 3 people, but it's awkward.
I think it's
Yeah,
just
that's
us
fine.
2.
Right, but if we ever have an opportunity that we need it, I think I can do more than 2. Or possibly, well, someone like Buster, for example, might be very useful. But I don't think you would
Well,
really understand how to
yeah.
fly.
And I think first, before we go in with, Buster's blazing, I think maybe we ought to see what we're dealing with first.
Oh, of course. I'm just speculating. I have a lot of theory to work through over the next day or so.
Well, I am done theorizing. I'm ready to go. So whenever you're ready.
No, I'm ready right away.
As I come down before you guys leave, I'm just going to ask you not to approach anybody before you get the rest of us. I don't want you guys to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt either, but I do want to say that I'm sorry that I gave the Ifrit the dragon scale. It was really cool, and I know you gave it to me as a gift. I'm sorry. I just didn't see another way. Really
It's
kind of want it
okay.
back, but
Maybe we'll see him and we'll kill him and we'll take it back. If not,
Maybe.
maybe we'll find another dragon scale that's even cooler than that one.
We could probably just convince him to give it back rather than killing him.
No, he was pretty mad. Like,
I know.
and he was pretty scared of us.
Well,
He did
I
run
think-
away.
We did beat him up pretty good.
I have a feeling that I don't know. This stuff just tends to come back and bite people in the butt in the stories anyway. But there's nothing we can do about it right now. So,
Well,
I
think
mean-
about how good those stories end. Like, yeah, they go through all kinds of terrible, horrible, awful, bad things.
not necessarily for everybody.
But- No, but I mean, in general, the heroes always come out on top. And right now, we're kind of pretending to be heroes. So
Yeah, but
maybe
everybody is the hero of their own story. Maybe
Yeah.
we're not in our own story or something. Anyway, that seems like a very
Yeah, we'll talk about
That's-
that later.
yeah, that's for another time, I think.
But just be careful and yeah, like don't approach any weird travelers like alone. I know you're both powerful and stuff, but I just would
I
feel
don't know.
better.
People like me.
That's
I think-
true.
Inevitable that whoever we meet is going to be very weird to us as much as we're going to be weird to them.
Well, I don't so much think of it as weird as I do different and interesting.
Okay, but don't get
Come on.
enslaved.
I will do my best.
Okay, but
Just make sure to shrink the tower when we're outside.
I will. As soon as they go outside, I shrink the tower.
Okay.
I will put it in my pocket.
All right. So I'm assuming that you all did complete your short rest before you go out.
Yeah.
So it has been an hour, but you know.
Well, I had to cool off, or else
Oh,
we're gonna
sure.
get heat
No, hey.
stroke.
Yeah. But I would also just because I'm gonna keep harping on this. It's the sort of thing where when it's really hot outside and then you go back into the air conditioning, it feels so good, and then you kind of just adjust to it. But then when you go back outside, it's just immediately feels just as bad. It's like, oh right, ugh. And it does sure seem like the sun is even brighter than it was. It's in fact the whole kind of color of the landscape is slightly like less yellow orange and more more white light, revealing all of the charcoal and red and gray colors of the landscape.
If it wasn't happening all the time, I could do a little bit about this heat, but it's sort of happening all the time.
He's safely stowed his spell book back in the
Mm-hmm.
bag as well. He doesn't leave it out when we're out here anymore. The other one's still on the ship, but not his personal spell book.
I feel like I left my loot in the tower because heat is not kind to wooden instruments.
All right. We don't have a lot of time, so if we rush, we should be able to make a lot more distance.
Ready when you are.
Altus,
And I'll cast fly on both of us.
Okay.
Draw little wings.
Sure. So as it requires no exertion to fly with the magical spell, but at the same time you feel the same thing that Zinhorn did, which is just moving quickly through the air.
And it's hot.
Absolutely. When the air itself is hotter than your body temperature, a breeze doesn't feel better. And so you are moving through, and I would ask each of you to make a perception check for me.
ooh,
Or you can have one person make it with advantage if you're sticking close to each other.
I got a 26.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
pretty good. So did you do one too, Nedry, or did you?
Yeah, I get a 16.
Okay, yeah. So both of you are able to avoid anything that looks like a cloud that would either be choking smoke or possibly scalding steam. But you're looking around, and I think Nedry doesn't necessarily spot it because there's a lot of glare coming off of that like endless flat area. But Carolina, you definitely also see what Zinhorn saw, which is what looks like kind of just kind of like when you see like something sunlight glinting off a mirror in the distance. It looks very much like that on the far side of this endless plain that you see. It's not literally endless, real big is the point. But you eventually look around too, and you see it's in a slightly different direction because they've moved in the last hour. But you do spot a little ways away this caravan, and so you are both able to head in that direction.
Yep.
I think that it takes up most of your 10 minutes to catch up with them, but not quite all. So you have approached to the point where you can see them a little better. So I'll have you make another perception check to get a closer look at them. But also, here's the question. I mean, if you're just flying like way up in the air, you can certainly see better, but they're also likely to be able to see you. So what's the plan as far as that goes?
it's up to you. I'd like to see more, but I can understand being cautious.
I think I used up. Have one use of dimension door left, so I could, in theory. Oh, wait, hold on. That's second level. So I could actually make us both invisible.
Is that likely to help?
Well, they wouldn't be able to see us. Well, most people wouldn't be able to see us. Unless they have true sight, or other magical ways of seeing things. But we could get closer.
It's true. At least to see who they are. Can't really talk to them all that much though, because that would be
Well,
weird.
I can drop the spell at any time. And I'll hold out my hand. It's like, you gotta hang on to me. Or else we'll
Oh, yeah.
lose each other.
You. But as long as you stay close by, I can hear you. And talk to your mind.
Well, but I can't do that to you. So, like, just hang on to me so I know where you are.
All right.
Okay.
So I just want everybody to have the appropriate mental image here, which is Carolina and Nedry flying, holding hands, and one of you needs to do the "Can you read my mind?" speech from the Superman movie. Right?
Of course, saying that
Can you
in her
read?
mind would be kind of
Anyway, we see that image only for a brief time because then they turn invisible.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
That will certainly allow you to get closer without worrying about being spotted up in the sky.
Mhm.
So you draw closer and try to get a look at what's going on down there.
Yep.
All right, please roll another perception check for me.
I'm gonna help Lynn this time.
All right, you may roll at advantage.
That one wasn't good. 17 and 15. So 17.
17 is still pretty good. So what you see is that there are a couple of pretty heavily loaded, very sturdy looking carts that at first your assumption is that they're wood, but then you realize, wait, probably not. They are actually seem to be made, there's some like areas, structural parts that might be wood under several layers of fire retardant sort of sealant. But then there's also a lot of it is metal, and it's carrying various sort of metallic crates in it. But walking alongside these two carts are four creatures that, in proportion and size, look like dwarves. But their skin seems very bronze in color. And I don't mean bronze like typical flesh tone bronze, I mean like the metal. And more to the point, their hair and beards are literally flames. I don't mean it's a beard that's on fire. I mean the beard is fire. The hair as well. And they all have these big war hammers. But they are walking alongside this cart warily. Like they look suspicious. Like they're looking around. But see, here's the other thing that you noticed as you flew over. They are actually, apparently, walking into an ambush. Because just over the next ridge, you saw hiding behind some outcroppings are strange snake-like creatures, except that they're large, standing like 7 feet tall, but with a long snake tail trailing out behind them, arms holding strange spears, and bodies seem to be made of bright red and yellow flesh. That they definitely look to also be fire elemental type creatures of some kind, but they seem to have been setting an ambush for this caravan, and the caravan is within minutes, within the next couple minutes here is going to be walking right into it.
Things aren't always what they seem. Like, just because they look weird doesn't mean they're bad guys. But
I never said Roop was bad.
those dwarves, but not dwarves, are also made of brass. So they probably come from the city of brass, which is where we're going.
I did say
And
bronze, not brass,
Bronze.
but
Well, it's metal.
up to you how much difference that makes. I just wanted to be clear.
So,
Sure, it's not gold. It's kind of goldish.
well, So it doesn't matter. But either way, if we tell them, maybe they will consider it a favor and do us one in turn.
At the very least, it would save their lives, possibly.
Yeah, but what if those guys are the bad guys? It's like, I don't know. And maybe there's a revolutionary force here.
Does that only go the other way around?
What?
Would the good guys ambush bad guys?
I mean,
Because they're
for the
about to
right
be-
reasons.
In any case, they're the victims right now.
That's true. Well, should we gamble on it then?
We're here, aren't we?
Okay. Let's see. Where should we set down? Like ahead of them or to the side of them?
I mean, I'm not going to sit down if I don't have to. The ground's still pretty hot.
Well, yeah, but we
But-
don't have much flight time left anyway.
Yeah, I would say you have, you know, it will run out oddly conveniently at about the time that these fire dwarves would just march right into the ambush if you were to allow that to just continue.
So I'm going to like keep hold of Nedry and start like flying downwards. But I want to go kind of off to one side, not behind,
Mm-hmm.
not ahead, but off to his side, maybe like 200 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when they're like right across from us, I would drop invisibility then
Okay.
and like
wi-
try to
some-
wave them down.
Oh, so somewhere that where they would see you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. So, do you yell out? Do you make any noise, or you just wave?
No, I'm just gonna like wave like kind of frantically, but like not aggressively, just kind of like, hey, I'm here. Please, hey, stop.
Okay. Make a performance check for me, just because you're not making any noise and you're 200 feet away.
Do you know what languages they speak?
18.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
You are good at getting people to pay attention to you, Carolina. What happens is that you hear one of them, or you see one of them notice you, and he shouts out something that I doubt either of you speak Ignan, which is a dialect of Primordial.
Since the flying spell is over,
Mhm.
Nedry will draw a book in front of his face and cast comprehend languages.
Okay. Well, so you probably missed the first little bit, but this strange sort of crackling, popping language, it's sort of very like guttural and has lots of percussive sort of noises. They are alerting each other, like you see them like calling out and looking at you and like looking at you warily, but they have stopped the progress of their caravans. And Nedry, you hear the fairly normal, to be expected sorts of dialogue, like, "Who is that? What's that over there? Hold up,
I can
everyone,"
also
that
cast
sort of thing.
comprehend languages, which I do want to do.
Okay, yeah.
But because I don't know if they are going to be able to understand me, I can also cast universal speech for 1 hour for creatures within 60 feet. So I have to get closer.
Okay.
So I'll keep my hands up and
Mhm.
sort of, I'm going to approach cautiously.
I'm laughing just because it was like 5 minutes ago that Zaleen was like, "Now don't approach anyone unless you come and get us first." Yeah. So
Had to
but
make a
so
choice.
You're doing hands up and approaching. Are you coming with her, Nedry?
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to leave it alone.
Okay. They are watching you carefully and like warily. A couple of them have like drawn their war hammers, but they're watching you approach. They seem like they're curious about what you are, because whatever that was that they were on the lookout for, it wasn't you. What do you look like right now as you're in your current form?
Well, I'm Carolina. I haven't like
Okay.
that's nothing special,
Mhm.
nothing fancy. Just this is
Yeah. So, given the environment here, you are not what they were expecting to find
Yeah.
on this this journey.
I
So,
imagine not.
Yeah, so they're letting you get close, but they are definitely on guard.
Mm. So I'd probably stop about 50 feet away. It's like, do you understand common?
Uh, they kind of look at each other, and one of them says, "Much little."
Okay. So in that case, I am going to cast universal speech on the four, because you said there was two on each side
Okay.
of the carts. Yeah?
Yeah, there's four of them.
Okay. So yeah, then let's see. I'm just making sure. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language I speak for 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they all kind of flinch with alarm when you appear to be casting a spell. Um, but do you say something like right away? Is
Mhm. It's like,
Okay.
don't, I'm not, I don't want trouble. I just wanted to warn you.
they're kind of looking at each other in confusion, but warn us about what?
Well, we were headed to the city of Brass slowly, but up ahead, there's these, they're sort of like red and yellow snakes, and it looks like a ambush, maybe hiding behind rocks.
So they were looking at each other like you can see them all giving each other nonverbal looks like this has got to be some kind of a trick, right? What is this? This isn't what's going on right now. They're very confused, but as soon as you say like the red and yellow snakes in the ambush, they're immediately like alarmed, um, and they say, "Where? Where did you see them?"
I would point in the general direction of
And
where I
actually,
saw them.
as you kind of go to point in that direction, you realize, oh yeah, well they're going to see them now because they're attacking. So
Huh.
go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, no.
I don't have a map for this. We're just going to do it theater of the mind. Zinhorn and Zaleen can go ahead and roll initiative as well.
Mm.
All right, all right, all right.
No.
5.
I'm using the D&D Beyond encounter tracker this time, and it's interesting. It kind of automatically populates the initiative rolls when you do it. But it looks like it's still waiting on one for Nedry and for Zaleen.
Oh, it didn't catch them. I'll just.
Did you
Update them.
Did you use it on the D&D Beyond roller?
I did, but I didn't select my token first. So.
Oh, well, so I'm
yeah.
not in roll 20. Not in roll 20. Just on D&D.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I did roll it in D&D Beyond, but it was a 5.
Okay.
I rolled mine. It was a 9.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not in roll 20 at all right now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, right now we have these fire dwarves, which I'm going to go ahead and just call them Azers because that is what they are. Not that that word means anything to your characters, but they, as soon as they see these attacking creatures, just launch full onto best defense is a good offense battle mode. They charge out towards these approaching fire snakes, wielding their hammers. But so let's see. We get let's see. What do we go? That's okay. Sorry, I'm used to not used to this roller here. So of the four of them, two of them managed to hit their opponents with these two-handed hammer swings, doing 5 damage and 11 damage respectively. But the I think what you see in that initial attack is you can tell kind of already these guys are probably outmatched by these things. These fire snakes look like they can take way more than that, and there's you know, there's four of these fire snake things, and against the four Azers, and they look pretty tough. So, Lynn, you are next.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so is this just like open terrain, or like the fire snakes like got like a rock overhanging, or like what are we,
No,
what am I
I think
dealing
we
with
are
here?
more or less on open terrain here because they stopped the caravan early, and so the salamanders, which is what they're called, charged in. So rather than the place where they had more cover, they have charged up to where the caravan was because it stopped and it looked like they were alerted.
Okay. How far away are they?
Well, so we're doing theater of the mind. So like,
Right. I
you know,
just
yeah.
for spells and like distance stuff, I need
Yeah,
to be able
so
to.
well, let's say that right now they're more than 60 feet, but you could move and have them be within 60 feet. Like, well, what do you
Okay.
want? Like, I mean,
Well, I was gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on
okay.
whatever
So
one is
what I would say,
closest.
so the way we can deal with that when we're doing theater of the mind is more or less like we're kind of all in the same area. So if you want to be within 30 feet to do a spell for that, you say that, and then we just know that that's how close you are.
Okay. Yeah. So I need to be within 60 feet of one, and then I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
So that's a wisdom saving throw, 16.
All right. Are you doing it on one of the ones that was hit by the others, or?
It doesn't really matter. Like if
Well,
it
like,
looks like one of the dwarves is gonna get hit, like if one of them is like ready to take a swing, um, then that's the one I'd go for.
well, they're all about to attack. So I mean,
Okay. Yeah, just yeah,
so
it's
I'll
all
just
a
pick
blur.
one.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's
It's
fine.
the closest one to
Yeah.
me.
Okay, so wisdom saving throw for one of the salamanders.
Yep.
They got a 7.
Ooh, then they are gonna take 3d6. It's 12 points of damage, and
This is psychic damage.
yeah, psychic damage, and then it must immediately use its reaction to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Okay, yeah, it does. One of them, yeah, runs, and it's yeah, they're not over fast. They seem, you know, it slithers along on its giant snake tail, but you know, it moves at about the same speed that you all do. But yeah, you definitely send that one running, at least for the moment.
Right.
Okay. So now it is the salamander's turn. The other 3 are going to attack their respective Azer. So they're going to each attack with their tail and then with you know, with their spear. Okay. Sorry, I gotta. Let's see. Okay, so the first one actually misses with both attacks. The second one gets a critical fail with its tail, and then gets hit with its spear, and does minimum damage, 6 damage. So that one is not super effective there. One of the things that you notice looking at both of these types of creatures, though, is that they clearly would both do fire damage to a creature susceptible to fire damage, but they themselves are both immune to fire damage, and therefore that part of it doesn't matter when they're attacking each other. And then so the third one that's still here in the area gets hits with the tail, but not with the spear, and does, ooh, that's a bit more, 16 bludgeoning damage with the tail, which knocks that guy for a loop. He's still up, but that's a hard hit for him. And then the fourth one, the one that you sent running away, is actually dashing over to you, Carolina. So it is not going to be able to attack you on this turn, but it is right up in your face now, looming over you with its enormous spear, and you, even in this already hot environment, you can feel the heat radiating off of its body, as it looms over you and hisses. Did you didn't do comprehend languages, right, Carolina? You did just universal speech.
I did that before.
Right. So the salamander wouldn't have been in that, but Nedry by
Not for
contrast,
universal speech.
right.
Not for universal speech, but I also have comprehend languages, which I
Oh, okay.
cast to ask them if they spoke common. like
Gotcha.
before,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, what you hear is it saying "die."
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's not very friendly.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Okay. So, but that is the salamander's turn. Zaleen, what are you? You're reading books in the ground floor of the tower.
Yeah, I'm just cleaning up some of Buster's mess, you know,
Mhm,
sweeping up the torn up paper and putting it in his little nest area. And I'm looking for books that Nedry wanted me to see if we had anything on.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
A 23.
23 is pretty good. Are you rolling in roll 20, or if you have
It's going into both because I have roll 20 open. It's not showing up on the
Oh, yeah.
D&D
Okay. Well,
Beyond.
that's fine. So that's fine. So 23 though. I think that you do find a book called Manual of the Plains, and you're like, oh, I bet this has fireplane information in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I set it aside for
Mhm.
Nedry.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Nedry, one of these salamanders has just slithered right up on Carolina and is menacing her.
Can I have a would Nedry have any sense of whether he considers this to be an elemental?
You believe that it is, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can, like, I'm no roll required. It looks like it's made of living fire,
Okay. Well,
But
that's a
but it's a
Uh,
bit more meaty than fire elementals you've seen in the past. It's just, it looks like it's kind of condensed fire in the same way that a lot of the other things here in this plane are. But
okay.
from the perspective of creature type, yes, you believe it's an elemental.
Okay. Then he will go up to Lynn,
Mm-hmm.
slap the back of her hand with a swipe of the pen, and cast protection from evil on good on her.
Okay.
Doesn't slap the other book because it does not have any charges left.
Uh-huh.
But for 10 minutes, an elemental will have disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
Nice.
Can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them, and you're not already, so that
Great.
doesn't have effect. And then he's going to retreat as far
Okay.
back as he can, which isn't very far at this point.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So, I think then you find yourself at the mercy of an opportunity attack from the tail of that salamander, which has a reach of 10 feet.
Yep.
It gets a 15 to hit.
That meets my AC.
Okay.
Nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, so that's going to be 11 bludgeoning damage plus 3 fire damage.
Okay. It bounces off his blue shield.
All right. So, Zinhorn, you're hanging out 6 inches tall with your buddy Buster, playing around in the kitchen. Yep.
I had no idea that anything else was going on.
Yeah, like this seems like deja vu from a couple of episodes back where Zaleen and Nedry just go off and fight stuff all by themselves.
Yeah.
And
Common
don't ta-
denominator, Nedry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I guess I did, it's a different, different category this time, not Zaleen and Nedry this time, but the point being, neither of you taking the opportunity on your turn to alert the others. That's fine.
Nedry.
Okay, so that means that it is once again the Azer's turn. So they're gonna use their warhammers to continue to attack their respective.
So there are 4 of the Azirs and now only 3 salamanders over there, right? So
No, well, yeah, but there's 4 total salamanders.
yeah, but one's not. They're not engaged with one of them, so they can gang up on the ones they've got.
Correct. Right. So the extra Azer is able to double up on one of them. Now, 2 of them miss in their attacks, but then the 2 that are both doubling up on their target both hit. So let's see. They've got 8 and 10. So 18 damage to that one, which, it's better than nothing, but it still seems pretty tough. It's not really bloodied or anything. Like I said, I think you both have kind of an immediate sense right away that, like, if you had not intervened, the salamanders would have just wiped these Azers out. Might still. We'll see. Yeah. So that puts us up to you, Carolina. You've got this one in your face, but you've also feel a little bit of an arcane protection over you.
All right. And I switched out that spell because of course I did. Okay. Trying to decide. Yeah. Let's see. It worked the first time. Well, okay. Now, I've got a couple of different things that I could do here, but I am going to instead cast. I'm going to use Dissonant Whispers again
All right.
at 3rd level. So
On that same one.
yeah, the one right in front of me.
Okay.
So 16 wisdom.
All right. That one is gonna. Oh, hang on. What? Come on. There we go. Okay. Sorry, it was giving me an error message. So it gets a 13.
Nope.
All right.
14, and he goes running again.
Nice. Yep. That's what happens. It once again sort of shrieks and puts its hands up to its head. And I think the translation is something to the equivalent of "You suck."
And I'm going to use movement to back up so that it has to run even further
Okay. Yeah.
to get back to me again.
Sure. Okay. And you're once again not letting Zaleen.
Well, it was right in my face. I didn't have a lot of.
Okay.
Like-
Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay.
I can't cast more than one spell, so.
All right. So it is the salamander's turn. You've got the one that's getting really frustrated, but it once again has to dash to get back to you, but does because it's furious now. But you have the other 3 that are doing their attacks against their relative, their Azer opponents. And one of them gets a 25 with the spear and rolling again. There we go. And a 20 with the tail. So it's gonna be 13 damage and 7 damage, so that's 20 damage to that one. That one's looking pretty hurt. Okay, and then the next one, natural one with the spear. That's actually, I think, the second time for that one. I'm gonna say his spear breaks. You know, 2 natural ones on his spear attacks in a row, but he does hit with the tail and does 13. So that's another Azer that's looking really rough. And then the third one, 20 with the spear and 26 with the tail. So yeah, these Azers are having a rough go of it here. 15 and 8. So that's 20. 15 plus 8 is 23, right? Yeah. So that one hadn't been hit so far, but now is also, those 3 are looking pretty rough. The 3 that got hit that time. And that's the 4 salamanders. Zaleen, you're are you digging into that particular book, or are you looking for others of interest also to make a stack?
I'm making a stack,
Mhm.
looking for things about, vortexes and portals,
Sure. Yeah, I think you find one that seems to be more of like legends of portals as opposed to like a textbook. Seems like stories on that subject, but you find one.
I will actually start flipping through that one and
Okay,
reading.
sure. Okay, Nedry.
Okay. This one is following after Lynn, so I have to try something. This may or may not work.
He draws a line, and what do they call it here?
Galacio.
And I'll cast Ray of Frost at it.
Okay,
That's an 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
Cool. I mean, literally, it's like Ray of Frost. 8 cold damage.
As you hit it with that 8 cold damage, it recoils and hisses as you watch the cold energy almost burn away its fiery flesh like acid, and it takes double damage.
Good to know.
Also, its speed is reduced by 10, so
Yeah.
time if Carolina can get away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, yeah, just kind of keep actually moving at this point to try to be between the 2 groups.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. You guys are not
There's
even
nothing
making
you can
any
do.
effort at all to let your friends know what's going on.
There's literally nothing Nedry can do about that. He's not holding onto the tower, and he
You're
has no
not
spells to.
saying anything. You're not doing anything. Well, I'm saying it would be one thing if you guys were asking me to try to do stuff and I was saying no, but you're just like not. It's
I
up
just
to
want to
you.
point out,
I'm just saying.
all you got to do is knock on the door
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be inside. That's all I'm going to say.
He's trying to keep Lynn alive long enough so she can do that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I look. You guys play. I'm surprised is all. So Zinhorn, what are you and Buster? You're just still kind of taking a nap together, or?
Yeah, we're laying against a nice cool stone,
Nice.
taking a nap.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Naps are good, but they are dramatically improved by the addition of an animal companion, in my experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. So, that brings us back around to the top. The Azers, once again, are going to try to. They see the one that you hurt the most, Nedry, with the cold, and they're going all in on that one. They're like ignoring their ones that they had been paired off with, and they're going to try to just focus fire on that one. So, oh, that's a crit. Nice. And then that's another hit. That one misses. That one misses. Okay, so we got a crit and a regular hit here. Okay, so 13 for, wait, so, yeah. Okay. It's 18 total damage to that one, which is not as much as they would have liked it to be. But that one at least is starting to look rough. Okay. So that's them. So Lynn, you're up.
See, this thing is back up in my face again, so I'm going to do the smart thing and reach in my pocket and tap my finger on that door, try to find it, and like I guess get sucked in. I don't know.
Yeah. It just occurred to me that the one that Nedry hit with the cold was the one that had charged at Carolina.
Yeah.
So I think that these guys all had charged at that one as well. So we'll just, theater of the mind, Yeah, but then Lynn just kind of disappears into the tower. Certainly that would count as an action to use a magic item. But you still have movement and etc.
I think all I would do, I just stand there and say, "We need some help here. Bring ice."
Okay. All right. So outside, we have once again 4 Azers and 4 Salamanders to do their respective fighting. Mostly, there still seem to be ignoring you, Nedry, now that the Azers have kind of charged up again. They seem to have a specific animosity for one another, even beyond you all. But yeah, so that's going to be a hit for both of those. And yeah, that guy's probably going down. 13, 12, 25. Yeah, one of the Azers goes down. His beard and hair seem to go out as he drops to
Actually,
the ground, unmoving.
Lynn's vanished.
Yep.
So Nedra will use his reaction to absorb 7 damage of that.
Okay. 7 is unfortunately not enough to keep him from.
Well,
So I'll let you not do that if you prefer. There's 3
He
more
would have done
salamanders
it.
making
He would have
attacks.
done
Okay.
Yeah, he sees how desperate they are, and he wants to try to keep them alive. That's what he
Yeah.
would do.
That was 25 damage against 13 hit points left. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So the next salamander misses with the spear and with the tail. So that's a lucky guy. Third one, wow, misses with the spear and hits with the tail. Doing another 12, which is enough to take that one down as well. And then so that was, one of them missed twice, right? And then one has missing the spear. Gosh, I'm losing track. Okay, I think there's just one more to attack, and he only can use his tail. And he misses. Is that right? Yeah, one of them missed twice. 2 of the Azers went down. The third one just, yeah, okay, that's good. So that's the salamanders and their attacks. So Zaylene, Carolina has just burst in with that message.
Okay, I will rush through that room, and at the door, I'm going to use my action to expand the tower
Okay.
and scare the crap out of everybody outside, because this giant tower is just going to appear.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will open the door.
Okay. So I think that would be your action to increase the size of the tower, but then you open it. You can see our theater of the mind battlefield here. Do you do anything else with your turn?
Yeah. I was looking to see if I have any good bonus actions. Isn't one of the dwarf guys dead, like
two of them
unconscious?
are down, or unconscious at least. It's hard to know.
Okay, are they within 30 feet of the door?
Sure.
I'm going to cast Spare the Dying on one of them.
Okay. All right, you feel the magic take hold. It seems to have its effect. Okay. Nedry, your turn. The tower has just kaboom into place.
He's kind of held out his hand towards him, is about to trace his hands. Oh, good. He'll turn towards the other three then, and yeah, I guess cast Ray of Frost towards the closest one.
So there's one that looks the worst off. Are you targeting that one more, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you tell me.
Nope, that's perfect. My mental map is not perfect here.
Sure.
That's a 22 to hit.
That'll
That's pretty good.
definitely hit. Yeah.
And 8 cold damage and speed
Okay.
reduced by 10.
Okay. Yeah. So that doubles up to 16. That one is still not destroyed, but it's looking pretty bad at this point. Couldn't take another hit like that.
And he's going to kind of move back to just about 60 feet, kind of at range,
Okay.
to try to get away from them.
Okay. So Zinhorn, you are on the second floor of the tower, but you are currently 6 inches tall with Buster. But you hear Lynn burst in downstairs.
Okay. Where I'm gonna grab Buster and start running for the door.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you can. I think you can get to the stairs at your speed at relative proportion. You can.
Okay.
You can get to the stairs.
I'm bringing Buster with me
Okay.
and moving as fast as I can.
All right. You're gonna have trouble with the stairs, but we'll get to that next round. Okay. So that brings us back around up to the Azers. 2 of them are down. 2 remain. They're each making their attacks against the most injured salamander. That hits. And that hits too. And between the 2 of them, they take that one down. They hit it with their war hammers and crush it, and it sort of snuffs out like a candle, and sort of there is a body of sorts remaining, but it seems to crumble into ash almost immediately. And so that's the 2 of those remaining. So there's now only 3 salamanders, but the one that's down is the one that was most hurt. Lynn.
All right. The tower's down, doors open. I'm going to go out of the tower,
Okay.
and I will see the 2 dwarfs that are down, the Azers. Is that what you call them? And I can only help one. So, I'm going to cast Healing Word on that one. I would prefer to do the one that didn't have Spare the Dying, but I have no idea which one it was.
No,
so.
you can tell because when they went unconscious, like their hair and beard fire went out, but one of them you can see is smoldering and the other one is not.
Okay, the other one that is not smoldering, he can have 8 hit points back.
Nice. You see his hair and beard suddenly flare up as he gasps awake. All right. Cool.
Yep.
That was Healing Word.
Yup.
Anything else with your action?
I don't think so. Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's it for right now.
All right. So we've got 3 salamanders remaining. I think they don't. They're not aware that the one is back awake yet, so they're not gonna focus on him. But I think that one of them continues fighting so 2 of them continue fighting the respective Azers. So let's do that. That's a miss with the spear and a hit with the tail. And that's 10 total damage, which does not take that one down, but he is really poorly. And then the other one attacks the one Azer that's actually not that hurt yet. Misses with the spear, but gets a crit on the tail. For 13 plus 2d6. Okay, 23 damage to that one, which that one hadn't been hurt much, but now he has. Okay, and then the last one is the one that doesn't have its spear anymore, but it charges back towards where Carolina and Zaline are standing at the door, and I think it's going to attack you, Zaline, with the tail. And it gets an 11. So
Miss.
mhm. Okay. Zaline, it's your turn. This one's right up in your face.
In my grill.
Yeah.
Oh man. Are they all near each other?
So one of them just slithered over to you. The other two are near each other.
Okay, so the two that are near each other,
Mhm.
I'm going to cast Hunger of Hadar
Ooh.
around them, and it takes like a 20-foot radius, like a
Mhm.
spear, and I just want it on those two
Okay.
because I don't want to get any of the
The
flamey
Azers.
dwarf
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, you can do that. You can do that. So, what do they need to make a save now, or on their turn, or what?
I think they do. Yes, any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 cold damage, and then any that ends its turn takes 2d6 acid. So they don't have to make a save right now.
Okay, all right. So they just had their turn, so we'll come back around to them. But describe what this looks like as you cast this spell.
It looks very similar to like my evil ribbon thing. It's all like tentacle ribbons just sort of like flopping and flailing all over, and it's just sort of like this sphere of darkness in this really bright world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Nedry.
And then actually I'm also going to use my bonus action to cast spiritual weapon.
Okay. Well,
And
so
I'm
is
going
that
to
is that 2 spells? I think in one turn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Never mind. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. All right. So, Nedry, you're up.
Okay, so that one is run up to the tower.
Yeah.
But I see Zaline and Carolina there.
Yeah.
So they got this. But that one that's looking really poorly, that's being attacked, I want to attack the one that's attacking that one with Ray of Frost.
Okay. All right.
19 to hit
Okay, that hits.
and 10 cold damage and speed reduced by 10.
Okay. And then it takes double because they are vulnerable to cold damage.
And I think Nedry's not entirely cocky, but he is yelling out at it. It can't understand anything he says, but he's still yelling out.
What's he
Kind
yelling?
of trying to
Because we can hear.
probably, hey, why don't you pick on something smaller? This never sounded right in my head either.
Okay. Zinhorn.
Yes.
You're 6 inches tall at the top of a flight of stairs.
And I can fly.
Yes, you can. Buster can kind of make his way down without you, presumably, but you're just going to soar down the stairs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and make best speed down the stairs.
Make an athletics check for me.
Athletics. 16.
All right. Yeah, you managed to give yourself a nice big head of steam, so to speak, with you running to jump and soar down the stairs, and you managed to glide right out the front door poof to your full size and land right in front of Carolina and Zaleen, who you like poof to your full size, and then you look up still at the fire snake that's towering over you.
I don't think so. I think it's going to get pushed back.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to use my um, metallic breath weapon
Okay.
and push it back. I
Alright.
can't actually read what it says on my screen.
Okay. Here, I can.
Strength saving throw or be pushed either 20 or 30 feet away.
Okay. Do you know what the DC they need to meet is?
Um,
Oh, well, they got
14.
a natural 20, so I think unfortunately that's gonna, yeah, they
Well.
succeed. You see that the breath, affects it, but it manages to grab it, like digs its spear into the ground and bears up under it and is not pushed.
Okay. Bonus action, cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Does that do what damage though? Your breath weapon?
That's not a spell.
No,
No, but does it do damage?
that breath weapon doesn't do damage. It just pushes, right?
Oh, it doesn't? Oh,
No.
That's correct.
That
Oh.
it's a choice.
Yeah.
oh,
I
cool.
can have it do different things, but
Yeah,
this
it's the
one
lightning
only
breath
does.
or the pushing breath.
Well, no, the pushing breath has the ability to do multiple things.
Hmm. Right. But in
Yeah.
any case, though, it succeeded on the save. So, but your spiritual
Right.
weapon?
Right. Spiritual weapon. That's going to be a 13 to hit.
Okay, a 13 doesn't hit, unfortunately. But your magic Rashama hammer is hovering spectrally over the battlefield now.
Okay.
And you know more now. All the players are on the field, which is great. So that brings us back around to the top of the initiative. We've got 3 Azers still ready. They are extremely wary of the ones that are in that region of the Hunger of Hadar. I think that plus the tower has them actually looking. I think they actually don't attack this round. They kind of pull back and they look like they're trying to regroup and figure out what they want to do next. They all 3 disengage because a lot of crazy stuff is happening and they're not sure. It's like, wait, is that our ally? What's happening right now? So I think that they disengage and kind of regroup to assess the nature of the battlefield. One of them, of course, is still unconscious on the ground. Carolina, your turn.
I don't like this guy in front of me. But let's see. I'm gonna use up all my spells, but I may not have a choice. So I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers again.
Okay.
16 saving throw, Wisdom 16.
All right. He rolled exactly 16. Does he still take half damage?
Checking.
I think so.
Believes yes.
But he doesn't
half
run.
damage.
Yeah.
And let's see. So that is gonna be 6 damage.
Okay. He does still wince.
And he got a headache.
Yeah, but he doesn't run away or slither for that matter. All right. So.
And
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think I would definitely like try to move. I'm gonna want to put some distance.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, you're going to get an opportunity attack then. He lashes out at you with his tail for 19.
Yeah.
Still at disadvantage because the protection is still holding.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yep. So let's roll that again. Yeah, that's a 24. So I think the 19 is still going to hit, unfortunately. So you're going to take 9 bludgeoning damage plus 5 fire damage. And You are
Ouch.
grappled
Ah,
as it lashes out with its tail and wraps it around you.
not cool. I don't
Yeah.
have any reactions, so yeah.
But now it is the salamander's turn, and so the two that are in the Hadar, Hunger of Hadar, need to make their saving throws. Is it Wisdom? Is that what you said? Oh, you're muted.
I'm actually curious about this because it says any creature that starts its turn in this area takes 2d6 cold damage, and then it's a period.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So go ahead and,
And
roll,
then it-
roll that then. Yeah.
Yeah. Where the heck is it?
And then they only take the follow-up damage if they don't move away. So no save. Okay,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So that's 7 for the one, or you just want to do it for both of them?
I think it make unless if you would rather roll it twice, that's fine with me.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Now, does that double because they're susceptible to cold damage?
It sure does.
Okay, so that's 14 for both of them then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They shriek and snarl. In
Nice.
pain. But then they use their move to leave that area. Because that's terrifying. And I think, though, that they can't see while they're in there, right, though, because it's dark?
Yeah, it's darkness,
Yeah, and
magical darkness.
yeah, so I think that at least for this round, those two just basically, like, scatter to get out of that area. And then by the time they are safely out of it, they move to try to go and attack the Azers some more, but they have to dash to get there. So they do get back up to them, but not with any attacks this round. However, the one that grappled Carolina is going to try to slam her around with the tail some more. Let's see, that first attack was a 19. Yeah, and then
With this,
yeah, no, yeah, and it was exactly the same two rolls, so the 19 is still the lower one.
trying.
Yeah, no, hey, I mean, yeah. So that's another 9 bludgeoning damage and another 10 fire damage.
Dang.
Yeah. This big thing has just got you wrapped in its tail. It's just boom, boom, slamming you around. It doesn't have its spear right now, or else it would be poking you with that too. So consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Zaleen.
I'm going to cast Toll the Dead
Okay.
at the one that has Lynn.
Okay.
So it's a 15 wisdom saving throw.
All right. It rolled exactly 15.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else from your
Can I, since I did cantrip, can I do
spiritual weapon?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
cast my spiritual weapon then.
So the spectrally glowing key
Yep.
emerges onto the battlefield.
And you get to make an attack with it too.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna whack the guy that's getting Lynn to
Mhm.
try to get her away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 16.
A 16 does hit. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 5.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Nedry.
So we never really discussed the exterior of the tower, but is there a parapet on the top?
I had always envisioned it as being kind of flat on top, but it just really has no there's no entrance to get there. Like it's
No,
just,
but it is flat.
Yeah.
With no, okay. All right. From Nedry's perspective, then he looks over at Lynn caught in this terrible trap, and with his pen, it's one of I kind of imagine it like the sort of 3D writers, weirdly enough, because it leaves a little spectral travel behind it.
Yep.
But he kind of circles where you can see Lynn, and then draws a line and circles the top of the tower,
Mm-hmm.
and he casts Vortex Warp to move her there.
Nice. So, assuming that Carolina is cooperative. Yeah.
Well, Carolina
Yeah.
was going to do something else, but I will take it.
All right. warp. You are vortex warped up to the top of the tower. Now here's the thing. Like I kind of said that it was flat, but like you guys can, I will allow you now to decide what the top of the tower looks like, given that there is no actual like entrance to the roof of the tower from inside. So it's just the top of the outside of the tower, what it looks like.
I'm picturing it kind of like the rook chess piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I always see it too.
Deal. That's what it is. All right. So, so that was Nedry's turn. Anything else from you, Nedry?
Just kind of backing up and warily looking at the two groups of them.
Okay. Okay. So Zinhorn, it is your turn now. There is, you see two of the salamanders charging up at the three conscious Azers who are looking pretty bad, but there's also the one that had just been grappling Carolina, but now she's out of its clutches.
Okay. The Azores look pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
You know, two of the three are in single digits of HP, and the third one's not much better.
okay. I am going to call upon Rishama and channel divinity, and which will allow me to heal them. Now I got to figure out, like, I can't read these glasses on.
That's okay. Let me help you out here. You're doing the, you can restore 45 HP, choose any creatures within 30 feet of you and divide the hit points among them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give 10 each to, are my folks, do they look hurt?
I think Carolina is probably the only
I'm
one
down to
that's,
10.
yeah, but I think everyone
Okay.
else hasn't really been hurt.
All right. Then I will give, it's 45, is that,
Hmm.
that's, it, there's, oh boy,
It's 5
There's
times your
5
level.
of them.
Yeah.
5 times
I mean, you could do 9 each.
9 each. Yeah.
Okay.
That was what I was trying to figure out.
All right. So, so you're doing all, including the one that had been unconscious.
Yes.
Great. Okay. So,
And then
yeah, no, so this is great. I absolutely love it. Narrate it for me a little bit. Like, what does this look like for everyone else?
Zinhorn drops to one knee and calls out, Rashama, heal my allies. And silver light blasts out of him and hits all 5 of them
Great.
and heals their wounds.
Who is all 5?
You're included, Carolina. You got 9
Oh,
hit
okay.
points.
And then I will do my spiritual weapon attack and remind you that Buster should be entering the fray.
Yes. I was going to have him show up right after you here.
All right. So I rolled an 8 to hit
Okay.
with my spiritual weapon,
Yeah, 8's
which is
gonna
not
do
going
it.
to hit anything.
No. Okay. And then, sure enough, bursting onto the field, much like you just did, but considerably clumsier, is Buster the Gray Render, who immediately doesn't like the look of this giant fire snake that's menacing his best friend, his dad, his mom, his whatever you want to call the relationship that the two of you have. But he is absolutely going to do some chomping and some clawing. Okay, I didn't put him onto the encounter tracker, so I have to improvise here. Okay. Rolling 3d20s. Okay, and then so the the bite. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, so the bite is going to miss. The 2 claw attacks both hit. And those are going to be, let's see, 2d8 plus 4 slashing damage each. I'm going to roll 4d8 plus 8. All right. 13. So that's a total of 21. But these things, as elemental creatures, are resistant to ordinary slashing damage. So it does take damage, but not as much as Buster is used to doing. And as it sort of slithers away, hissing at him, Buster kind of looks over at you, Zinhorn, just a little bit like, make it not like this. But he is on the field.
All right.
And now the Azers, suddenly feeling themselves spiritually and physically reinforced, resume their attacks. So 2 of them on each on the 2 salamanders over there. So the first one misses with his attack. Second one gets a natural 1. Okay, there we go. The other ones are doing better. Those both hit. So let's see. That's 6 plus 8. So they do 14 damage total to that one, which it's still got a ways to go. Yeah. Yeah. I said already that they would have been completely outmatched without you here. But yeah, so they are back on the field. The one that had been unconscious leaps to his feet and runs over to help. Lynn.
All right. So from my perch up
Yeah.
upon the tower, it's like,
Mhm.
that's weird, but okay. And then I will, let me see. Which of the snakes looks the least hurt?
The least hurt is actually the one that had rushed up to you in the tower. The other 2
All right.
are
Well, I don't
more
like
hurt.
him anyway.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
he's the
gonna
one that
hit
doesn't
him
have
with
his
Mind
spear.
Sliver.
Okay.
Yeah. So intelligence saving throw 16.
Okay. They are having the best luck with saving throws. He rolled a 17. It has no modifier. It's plus 0. You just rolled it. So sorry about that.
All right.
Is
Well,
there
that didn't work.
is there any
but,
half damage for that one?
No, because it's a cantrip.
Okay.
But because let's see, who do eeny, meeny, miny, mo? We'll go with Zinhorn. You hear from up upon the top of the tower. Let the snow gather deep in the valley. Let the ice kiss the trees as they sway. I'm a spirit who always surrounds me, and from it I never shall stray. And you now have the 1d8 bardic inspiration.
Yay.
Awesome.
All right.
After the goat, do one more song. One more song.
Okay, so I think the 2 salamanders that are now over there surrounded by the 4 Azers are going to split their attacks. So each of them is doing spear one way and tail the other way. At 17 just hits with the spear to do 16 damage. Gets that guy down to 1 hit point. And then tail on the other guy is also going to hit for 12. That guy goes down again, unconscious. That's the one who had been unconscious before. And then that's not going to do it. The second one misses with the spear, and then does hit with the tail. And does 12 damage. And that one is still up, but not... wait, hang on. It's not the right guy. This guy is still up, but he is now grappled. All right, and then the one that's over by the rest of you decides that it's going to attack Buster with its tail. And that gets a 24 to hit. So Buster is going to take, let's see, 2d6 plus 4, 9 bludgeoning damage plus 11 fire damage. But Buster's got a lot of hit points, so he's still fine. And in fact, actually, his bloody rampage reaction, when he takes damage, he makes one attack with his claws against a random creature within its reach, other than its master, which I think no one else is in its immediate vicinity right now. Everyone else backed away, right? Yeah, I'm going to say that that's what happens.
Yep.
Okay, so it rolls d20 plus 8. 19. Yeah, that hits. And it does 2d12 plus 4, and it'll have. Oh, and you can't pull it prone because it's too big. Okay, he does 4. No, 8 total to that one, which is actually reduced to 4. So. But that was just its reaction on Buster's reaction on its turn. So that now makes it Zaleen, your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to spare the dying again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to march up to the one that knocked him unconscious,
Mhm.
and I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds at level 3.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh! It's a 12.
A 12 is a miss, unfortunately. It ducks out of the way as you try to reach out. Okay.
That's my turn.
Yep. All right, Nedry.
The 3 that are still attacking the mostly fallen Azers.
No, so there's 2 attacking them and 1 that's up near Zinhorn and Buster at the entrance to the tower.
Right, they pulled one down. Okay, the 2 that are attacking the Azers, then the one that looks the worst, I will try once again with Ray of Frost.
Okay.
It's literally my last spells. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
12 cold, double to
All
24.
right, yeah. It is not completely down, but it is very damaged. It can't take another one of those. It once again seems to just, the frost seems to just crystallize its flesh where it hits, and then it just crumbles away like it had been corroded by acid or something.
And once again, I imagine Nedry giving the worst possible taunting. It's something like, you don't like the cold, hey? Well, just be glad I don't have snowballs. What am I saying?
Need to work on these. Yeah. All right. There's time though. You're going to be in the elemental fire plane for a long time, probably. Okay, great. So that's the end of your turn.
Mhm.
Okay. Zinhorn, you're up again. Buster's been having a hard time with this fire snake. His usual biting and clawing is not as effective on the elemental as he's used to. He keeps burning his mouth on him. Do we have this, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second first, same as the first.
All right.
I am going to heal. Call upon Rushama to heal my allies.
Okay, great.
And
Get her done.
the 5 of them will each get 9 points back.
Okay, yeah.
And I will attempt one more time to hit with my Magic hammer.
Okay, if a creature has bardic inspiration die and casts a spell that restores hit points or deals damage, the creature can roll that die and choose. Hold on.
Oh, and add it to
And
a,
choose it. Yeah. Add the number rolled as a bonus to the hit points regained or damage dealt, just in case.
It's not a spell.
Okay.
yeah, it's a channel divinity thing,
Mm.
but hey, I mean that, you know, it's still, that means you still have the advantage though, so you can add that to your spiritual weapon roll if you need to.
I was thinking I might since I've missed twice already.
All right, and Carolina, go ahead
Oh.
and take your additional 9 there.
I think I will. Woohoo, up to 28.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what happens. I rolled a 15.
A 15 hits.
So all right, and the damage. Can I add the 1d8 to the damage?
Oh, yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
Apparently, yes.
Healing or
Nice.
damage.
So that was a 12,
Okay, so 20.
and I add with
Oh, well, you roll the d8. Yeah,
yeah, and I got a 4, so
Okay.
that's 16 points of damage.
nice. Yeah. That one, you know, you're whittling it down. Buster's turn. He's going to try attacking again, despite the fact that he takes 2d6 fire damage every time he attacks this burning fire elemental creature. But, you know, he's doing it. He's absolutely doing it anyway.
He needed the exercise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the 16. So he hits with the bite and one of the claw attacks. So 2d12 plus 4 and 2d8 plus 4. Okay, that's 14 and oops. Ah. $14 plus 12, so 26, but halved, so that's another 13 damage as he is just biting and clawing at this elemental, and in the process, he's going to take, let's see, has to hit, so it takes another 18 fire damage, which he does not enjoy. And he is so angry, in fact, that he is going to once again make another claw attack. Because he is, you know, this. Oh, and that's a crit. So nice. Sort of. We'll see. And so with that claw attack. Oh, that's a little better. That's 25 damage, but that's reduced to 12. So he is actually starting to really do some damage on this thing now. Although you're seeing like the skin around his mouth and his paws is starting to like blister, and he seems pretty unhappy. But it's just enraging him further. All right, and so the Azers once again are doing their best to continue fighting off the salamanders that are over by them. And so 2 attacks on each. That's a hit. And then a critical miss. But so that's 11 bludgeoning damage. To that one, which is almost down. And then the 2 others miss. Both of them miss. So one of the remaining 3 is on its last scales. One is still pretty much at half, and then another one is hurt, but not that bad, and that's the one that's by the tower. Okay, so Lynn, you're up.
I'm going after that guy again.
Yep.
He's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, mind sliver at him again.
Okay.
So 16 intelligence.
Right. Oops. Rolled exactly 16.
God, yes.
I'm rooting for you at this point.
Well, then again from the rooftop, you hear, Miss Zaline. For the tree may take and the tree may give love that moves like the breeze. But my heart cannot bear another farewell spoken through those emerald leaves. You have a 1d8.
I am imagining though that because Lynn's also angry, it's sort of the death metal version of that.
Wait, so who was that one for? Was that one?
That was for Zaline.
Okay, great. All right, so it is the salamander's turn. I think the one that is that hurt, like that's like, you know, it's in single digits, is actually going to try to run away. And it's only getting opportunity attacks from the Azers. So let's see if they can manage.
I was there too.
Oh, you're right, you were.
Yeah.
So the Azers both miss with a natural 1 and a 2 respectively, but do you have an opportunity attack for this
I can
one
do a
that's running?
dagger attack.
Yeah, go for it.
A 21.
That'll hit.
Bless you.
Roll the damage.
Oh man, I don't know why it's rolling the. 6.
Okay, 6 is just enough because it's reduced to 3 and it had 2 hit points.
Nice.
So you kill it, and as its fiery lava-like molten blood spatters onto you, you also take 8 fire damage, Zaline.
Okay.
But you killed that one.
Die.
All right. Okay. So that one had tried to run away, but you finished it off. The other one that's over there is still attacking the Azers. Goes after one of the. It's focusing on the more injured ones, but it misses with the spear. Hits with the tail. And does 15. So yeah, he takes another one unconscious. So that's the only one currently unconscious, but you know, they're doing their best there. But they're still all alive at least at the moment. But that's the only thing that it can do. Then there's the one that's over by the rest of you. And I think that yeah, I think that it's also going to disengage from Buster, and then run and slither over to its colleague, popping and hissing sounds that those of you with comprehend languages can say is like, you know, it's no longer worth it. So that one disengaged and ran over to its friend, but it didn't manage to get any further away than that. But it seems to be proposing a retreat. And that makes it your turn, Zaline. You've got 2 of them by you now.
I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Hexblade's Curse
Okay.
on the one that just came up.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds at level 1.
On that same one?
Yeah.
Okay. Make your attack.
You still have your spiritual weapon up too?
Yeah, but I can only do a bonus action. Do we know what it is to hit? Have we figured it out yet? Like what their threshold is?
I'll tell you if it's 15.
Okay. Yeah, that's a miss, and
You have your inspiration.
I know, but I rolled a 7, and I would have to roll an 8
Okay.
to get it. So
Well, up to you.
yeah,
if you roll it and don't get an 8, you keep it.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Is that
So
true?
there's
'Cause
no
I-
reason
Yeah,
not
because I
to.
have unfailing inspiration.
Oh, okay,
It's one
cool.
of my features.
That's very cool, actually.
Oh my God, I rolled a 7.
Okay, well, at least you still have it. You know, you.
Yeah.
But
Ah.
it's so
Yeah.
close.
Oh,
Okay.
I just want to inflict some wounds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, you got the Hexblade's curse off though.
Yeah.
All right, and that makes it Nedry, your turn.
Okay. This time he sort of pauses, tries to think, retreat this, Galacio. Why did I say that? At the one that was talking about retreating. That's a 17 to hit
Okay, hits.
for 7 cold damage and speed
Okay.
reduced by 10.
Yeah. So it is even further very wounded. Like it's looking really rough at this point. Okay. Zinhorn.
All right. One of the Azores was down.
Yeah.
All right. We are gonna go for where's mass healing word.
Okay.
So, how many targets can I affect?
I feel like
Up
it's
to 6 creatures. Okay, I think it works like my healing for Rushama, where I get a total.
actually I think what you do is you roll the die and it's that much for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for
Cool.
mass healing word.
So how many people can I affect?
Well, I believe it's
Up to 6.
Yeah.
So the 4 Azers, Buster, and Zaleen.
Okay.
It's healing up to 3d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
That's not mass healing word though, right?
No, that's-
it's 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Right. Sorry.
I'm doing it at 4th level, so it's 2d4
Okay, yeah.
plus. So it's 14.
Nice.
Nice.
Everybody gets 14.
You get 14 hit points. You get 14 hit points. Everybody
Mm.
gets 14 hit points. Well, not
And-
everybody, but
Yep. And then we're going to go for the bonus action
oops.
of the spiritual weapon.
Mass healing word is a bonus action.
Yeah, but I wasn't using it as a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, no, you have to use it as a bonus action.
Then I
Yeah,
can use my
but it
spiritual weapon as a regular action, right?
No, you can't, but what you can do is make a regular attack action.
With my mace.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Or actually, I have my freezing drill spear.
You sure do.
Cool.
It does cold damage
It does.
if you hit with it.
I rolled a 12. So
Okay, a 12 misses, unfortunately.
Well,
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 so it was
miss.
12 with the yeah.
that was
okay,
a 12
yeah,
total.
Yeah, that misses, unfortunately. Yeah.
Did you already use you used the bardic inspiration?
I
already,
did.
right?
Yeah. I used it for damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Uh,
yeah. Damn.
Okay. And then Buster also got the 14 hit points. Okay. But that makes it Buster's turn now, who is absolutely just terrassing right on over to that one that tried to run away. And does a chomp. Misses with the chomp, but does 2 claw attacks. One of those still misses. The other one, though, hits. 2d8 plus 4. Aha. So that's a total of 16, which reduces to 8, which still does not quite take it down. But once again, because he's going to take 2d6 burning fire damage from making a melee attack on the connecting with a melee attack, going to take 5 fire damage, which gives him the opportunity to use his reaction to make a bloody rampage attack, which he does. And gets exactly a 15.
Yeah, Buster.
And does another 16, which definitely kills that one.
Good boy. So good boy.
He also takes another 2d6 fire damage. I think he turns over to you, like looking at you like kind of a complicated, like, I'm happy, but my mouth hurts. Fix it, Dad. Okay.
It's burning my tongue.
Okay. The Azers are doing a lot better now. There was the one that had been down, but the others had not taken any more damage since the last time they got healed. They're feeling a lot better. So all 4 of them go in to attack the one remaining salamander. Not that they have been doing great anyway, but there's 1 hit. 2 hits. A crit. And then a natural 1. So, 2 regular hits. 5 plus 9 is to 14, and then 2d10 plus 3. 14 plus 13, 27. So that one is not completely dead yet, but it's looking really rough now, and you've got to imagine it's thinking, Steve was right. Maybe this is we could just call it here. But we'll see if he gets that chance. So, Lynn, it's your turn. There is only 1 salamander remaining on the field. He's pretty hurt.
And he's not the one that I wanted to hit, but
Well,
I'll
that
go
one's
after him
dead,
anyway.
so,
Yeah.
it worked out.
So I'll cast Mind Sliver at him.
Okay. Let's see if we
So
finally
16 intelligence.
intelligence.
See if it works.
4.
Yes. Gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
10.
All right, that's great. It's not enough to kill him, but it does.
But he
hurt
also
him.
has a he has to, what was it?
Like minus D4 from his next.
Yeah,
attack or
he has
something?
to roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the next save.
Okay, great. Okay, so it is his turn.
Yes.
He is absolutely going to disengage and back away. And I think he, in fact, is not just running. He disengages and moves like as far back as like he can with a regular movement. And he puts up his hands and he's looking to the others and he says, "There are many more of us back at headquarters. If you let me live, I will tell them to leave you alone. Elsewise, they will send more in retaliation." And so only those of you with comprehend languages up understand that.
Most
Yeah.
of us just
Yeah,
hear
the
it.
rest of you are hearing.
It's gonna swearing to kill us.
Yeah. So that's its turn. Zaleen, you're up. It does. I mean, it did disengage and it's backing away with its hands up. Dropped its spear. Well, you're muted. Yeah, we don't hear you.
Does anybody know what that thing said?
I do.
I mean, it's up to the people that we're fighting with. Like, should I kill him? I'm asking like the
So
Azar.
let's make a
Well, we're still in
deal.
initiative, so so we'll have to wait for them to come around again to hear
All
what they
right.
want.
So I will hold an Eldritch Blast
Okay.
until their turn, and then if they decide that they want to kill him, I will unleash it.
All right. Great. Nedry, what about you?
Nedry will kind of approach because it's moved a bit further away, and he'll relay back to probably Zaleen because she's the closest.
Mhm.
Or actually, she's up ahead. But anyway, in her mind, you'll hear it says if we leave it to go, it will go back to headquarters and tell the rest not to attack us. I don't know if it's us or if it's them.
That doesn't seem legit.
And Nedry will hold a ray of frost to also kind of look to see what the Azar are doing.
Great.
If
great.
they're hard to read because their faces are fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, their faces are bronze, their beard is fire.
I stand by my they're hard to read.
That's fair.
comment.
Zinhorn, your turn.
I'm gonna move up to Buster and give him some extra healing. And since everyone else is holding their attack, I'm gonna hold my attack.
Okay, great. How much healing does Buster get?
Tell you in just one moment. I'm gonna do cure wounds at 3rd level. Buster's gonna get 27.
Very nice. Let's see. That brings him just about back up to full. In fact, I think it's full on the button. Yeah, it is. It's exactly makes him exactly back to full. As you reach over and you heal him, you watch the blisters around his mouth heal. He looks up to you with his terrifying, monstrous eyes, gives you a big slurp on the face, and then absolutely chases down that last salamander and tears it apart.
Oh no.
Less than not.
I think I forgot to tell him to stop.
Yeah. It would have been a tough sell. I would have made you roll for it anyway. So I think with all of the salamanders defeated, the Azers are, I think there was one left that ended up unconscious. No, they were all up. No, they were all up at the end from that last. Yeah, so I think that they kind of briefly confer amongst themselves, and then one of them steps up to you, Carolina, because you're the one that spoke to them directly.
I'm also on top of the tower.
Well, yeah, and so I think they look up to you, and they say, "You may not be surprised to believe that we are in need of a security escort for our caravan. Are you looking for work?"
Can I get a rope first? Anybody got a rope? Anybody?
I will take 50 feet of rope out of my bag and toss it out to you.
All
What
right.
do you need rope
Give me 1
for?
second. I'll be right down.
Oh, I can take off my armor and. Oh wait,
I think with
I have
that
exhaustion.
that whole bit of business, I think we will actually sort of helicopter shot away as we imagine that the negotiations of what might come next will have to wait until next time. We
got friends.
Yay, good job. And so we will find out what task the Azers might have and what's next for the Pocket Protectors when we return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.
Really hot levels. Ooh,
Yeah. Whew.
Yep.
spicy levels.